There are a ton of items I see on people's packing lists that are completely unnecessary and unneeded. I think a lot of these things are what is holding so many people back from reaching that one-bag travel status. So today I'm going to be going over my top 10 items that I don't think you should be packing for your next trip. Before we get into it, special thanks to Packed for partnering with the channel to create some of these travel-related videos. They make really awesome minimalist travel bags. I'll be sure to link some reviews and more info down below, but let's get into the items. Shampoo is the first item on my list. People notoriously wash their hair far too often. You really should not be washing your hair on a daily basis like I hear from so many people. My wife's a hairstylist, so she's been training me over the years to realize that you really should be aiming to wash your hair once or twice per week at maximum. So usually during a short travel stay, you don't need to be washing your hair at all. If you get in some sort of bind, you can always use body wash or whatever sort of soap that you brought with you, or a lot of hotels do provide shampoo as well, but it's actually going to be healthier for your hair to wash it less frequently in general, in and outside of travel. Next up on the list of items is a backup pair of shoes. I hear from a lot of people that bring a backup pair of shoes as a just-in-case sort of item, or if they're attending a formal event during the duration of their trip. There's a lot of ways to get around the extra bulk of a whole pair of shoes. And I'm a size 12 as well, so my shoes take up a lot more space than a lot of folks in my bag. But you want to aim to look for a pair of shoes that's going to be really versatile. You know, you might pack a pair of dress shoes like this if you're attending a formal event. Instead of doing something like that as an extra pair, try and find something like this. These pair of leather boots I can wear with jeans, and I can also wear with a three-piece suit. So something like this is going to be a lot more versatile and will get me through generally all of my situations while I'm traveling. So leave your extra pair of shoes at home and enjoy all of that extra weight and space savings in your bag. Physical books are big and bulky and really limit your reading options when you're on a trip. The rare chance that someone might not have an e-reader yet in 2020 is pretty slim, but I do realize some people still like to read these physical books. A couple of questions to ask yourself before the next trip though. When you bring books like this, are you really reading them during your trip? And if you are an avid reader that always reads during your trip, why not pick up an e-reader? I have one that is several years old now, and it's the first gen Kindle Paperwhite. I think these go for like $60 or $70 at this point, and I know there are even less expensive options than this out there. This can hold thousands of books and is super lightweight and thin and allows me to read on the go if I'm going on a trip that's going to allow me the time. So if you are someone that reads a ton whenever you travel, really consider investing in something like this. You can bring your entire library of books for a fraction of the size of one single book. And I always hesitated on the e-ink screens, but they really are great if you've never given them a chance. Another alternative too, if you want to save money and skip out on the e-reader, is just reading from your phone. This isn't my favorite thing to do, but can definitely get you by on a pinch or on a shorter trip. This is something that can extend out to any sort of valuable or irreplaceable items. People don't really understand the risk of theft or lost items when they're traveling until it happens to them. You always want to play it safe and kind of plan to assume that anything that you bring with you might get lost or stolen. So that one-of-a-kind item that's been passed down on your family, or that super expensive piece of tech that you might be able to get away with not packing, try and skip out on those irreplaceable or incredibly valuable items. Just ask yourself if the risk of losing it is worth bringing it with you. I see so many people shoving these gigantic pillows into their packs and bringing them with them to hotels and different places when they travel. You don't need to do this. I am as big of an advocate as anyone in investing in a quality pillow and the importance of pillows when it comes to your sleep quality. but it's just not worth the bulk and size for traveling. And even travel pillows that you might want to use on a plane or anything like that. A quick tip that you can do instead of having that little travel pillow with you is just bringing a sweatshirt or a jacket with you, keeping it on your person when you're on a plane or a train or in the car. You can bundle that up, use it as a pillow when you're traveling, and you really won't be missing your main pillow. And if for some reason you're traveling to a place where you won't have access to a pillow when you get there, there's a few situations where that may come in handy. Or if you're on a really long flight and you just can't handle the idea of not having a dedicated pillow, they make really small inflatable pillows for backpacking and camping. This little pouch here actually inflates into a full-size big pillow. So if you do have to travel with the pillow, something like this is like $15 and packs in really, really tiny. I don't ever travel with this, but I use this for backpacking a lot, but I'll leave a link to this if anyone's interested. But in general, skip the pillow, leave it at home, and use the one that will be there. So many people pack their just-in-case items with them, and you really don't need to. Maybe you want to pack an extra pair of socks and underwear. I can accept that, they're small, but you don't need to be packing an extra shirt and an extra pair of pants just in case something crazy happens. I can safely assume in some emergency situation, if you need an extra shirt or an extra pair of pants, you're probably in a place where you could purchase them. All the years I've been traveling without, I've never needed to do this, but in some dire situation, I know I could head to the store. And if you're in a spot where you're not able to buy a new t-shirt or a new pair of pants, you're probably not in a place that's around other people, so you can rewear clothes that might smell or that might have a stain on them if you're not around anybody else. So skip that backup outfit on your next trip and claim that extra free space back. Next up on the list, we have full-sized toiletries like body wash or shampoo or hairspray. There are so many great options for avoiding this gigantic container in your bag. Not only does this force you to check a bag if it's anything over that 100 milliliter capacity for the TSA, it also just adds a bunch of bulk and also increases the risk of liquids spilling out into your bag. Something that I've been doing for a while is utilizing these little plastic Nalgene containers. You can refill them from your big containers before your trip, and they're just a lot smaller. They're also really safe and tight, so they're not going to spill out anywhere, and they're going to allow you to keep all of your liquids in a carry-on bag. I have sunscreen in this one because I burn in like 15 minutes out in the sun, but obviously you can pick up a few of these, use them for your body wash, use them for shampoo if you insist on bringing it. All of those sorts of big liquid containers, or any big containers of anything for that matter, swap it out with some small reusable containers. You're not going to waste the money on disposable travel-sized items, and you get to refill them, save money, save space, and it's just a lot nicer and easier for your travels. This one will probably be a bit controversial for all the folks trying to step up their Instagram game, but I really believe that you don't need to pack a big DSLR or mirrorless camera with you when you travel. I'm a professional photographer and generally try and skip this whenever absolutely possible. I will generally bring a big camera with me for backpacking and camping just because nature photography is a really big hobby of mine. But if you're just someone going on a family vacation or just exploring, taking photos with your cell phone is more than good enough in the modern age. Cell phone photos are great. I import my cell phone photos and my big camera photos into Lightroom all the time, and in the right conditions, I can't tell the difference, and that's with a professional eye. So chances are, your family photos on your trip will look amazing with just your cell phone. It's gonna save a ton of space. You're bringing your cell phone anyway, so you get to skip an entire item without any substitutions. So just give it a try on your next trip. I hesitated for a long time, but once I did it, I really haven't gone back since. Next up, we have the big, bulky, noise-canceling headphones. I know a ton of people swear by these. The Bose, the QC35s, I think are the popular ones. And, they're definitely important and nice for air travel, But nowadays they have so many amazing options that are compact earbuds that really do a similar or even better job. I know all of the major manufacturers now make some form of small earbuds, and a lot of them have noise canceling built in as well. Maybe it's not as good. I haven't done a ton of variety of testing, but it's just this size difference is too big to pass up. Just bring your small headphones and they'll get the job done just as well. I really think if you've never tried it, you should leave your big checked bag at home and try out a single trip with that one bag mentality in mind. I know it's a big leap when you've never done it before, but once you do it, you really get hooked on the idea of just having a backpack or a duffel, or even just a small carry-on roller case if you want to take baby steps. It's so nice not to have to worry about your checked luggage, not to have to pick it up or worry about it getting lost or stolen or damaged. You got to lug it around when you get to your destination everywhere. It is a hassle and a mess. And just try it. It's really not that big of a deal. If you learn those items that you don't need, you can fit everything into a backpack pretty much with any situation. And this brings me back to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Pact. I've been partnering with Pact for the last couple of months to bring some content to the channel here and also write for their blog on their website. So if you want to check out a little bit more info about everything we've been talking about today, I do have a full blog post on their website that I wrote going into more detail with substitutions and more information about all of these items. So be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I'd love to hear in the comments what your most unused item is in your pack and what you got rid of. Let's get that discussion going, but I'll talk to everyone in the next one. Have a good one.